In this video, we're going to be discussing Hoffa's fat pad test, also called the infrapatellar fat pad test. But before we get into that, let's discuss a little bit of relevant anatomy. So right here, we're seeing an anterior view of a patient's left knee. So right here, here's the patient's left patella. And then above that, we have the various quadricep muscles. So over here, we see the distal tip of the vastus lateralis. In here, we see the VMO, vastus medialis obliquus. Right here is the rectus femoris, where it blends into the quadricep tendon, which then attaches on the patella. And then if we go distally from that, you can actually see right here the patellar ligament. And the patellar ligament is, of course, what connects the patella to the tibial tuberosity, which is probably about right here. Now, Hoffa's fat pad, also called the infrapatellar fat pad, is situated behind or deep to the patellar ligament. So if we used our fingers and palpated with firm enough pressure, we should be able to indirectly feel the medial part of that fat pad and the lateral part of that fat pad. Okay, and that's going to be very important. It's behind this patellar ligament and indirectly palpable on either side. So what you're seeing right here are two side views of the same knee. So on the left here, we have a healthy knee. So here's the distal end of the femur. Down here is the tibial plateau. Here's the patella, and you can see the patellar ligament connecting that patella to the tibial tuberosity. And behind the patellar ligament, or deep to it, we have the infrapatellar, also called Hoffa's fat pad. And in a normal healthy knee, you can see here there is space between that fat pad, the superior aspect of it. There's space between that and the patella and the distal end of the femur. Okay? But in some cases, that fat pad can become impinged between the patella right here and the distal end of the femur. That is the anterior distal end. And when this happens, you end up with infrapatellar fat pad syndrome, also called infrapatellar fat pad impingement. Now, as you can see here in the picture, this impingement is most likely to occur when the knee is approaching or at full knee extension. When the knee becomes flexed, particularly as you get closer and closer to 90 degrees, the fat pad is going to be moving away from this potential site of impingement. So generally speaking, when somebody has this impingement, it's going to be near full extension. And we can test that with Hoffa's fat pad test. So again, this is to evaluate for the presence of a pathology of the infrapatellar fat pad of the knee. As you can see in these videos, the patient will be positioned in supine, and the PT will place manual pressure on the infrapatellar fat pad in the following positions. So the two most important are right here: 90 degrees of knee flexion, which we'll see on the left here, and full knee extension, which we'll see on the right. I don't have it shown here, but you can also exert the same pressure on the fat pad while you're moving from 90 degrees of knee flexion into full knee extension. And this would generally be done with passive range of motion, not active. Okay? So let's take a look at the first case, 90 degrees of knee flexion. Okay? So I'm going to, first of all, find the fat pad, and remember that it's going to be on either side of the patellar ligament, which in the patient here is right here. And then I'm going to exert manual pressure on that fat pad using my thumb and index finger. Okay? Both of my fingers are going to be pressing posteriorly, so basically into the patient's leg here. And then I'm also going to try and compress both parts of the fat pad in towards the patellar ligament. So my index finger here will be pressing posteriorly and essentially medially into the patellar ligament. And then my thumb here will also be pressing posteriorly, but then a little bit laterally into the patellar ligament. And that's going to give me the maximum pressure on the infrapatellar fat pad. Okay, so pretty straightforward. You just exert that pressure right there. Okay, that's at 90 degrees of knee flexion. You're going to do the same thing at full knee extension. Okay, so find the patellar ligament and then exert the same manual pressure on the infrapatellar fat pad. Okay. Now, what constitutes a negative test? Well, this, of course, would be the case when theoretically Hoffa's fat pad is not the source of the pathology. Well, this would, of course, be painless in all test positions and movements. So it would be painless in 90 degrees of knee flexion, painless with full knee extension, and then also on the transition between these two positions, it would also be painless. Okay? So that being said, what constitutes a positive test? Well, if you look back at the previous picture, remember that this fat pad impingement should not occur in knee flexion. It's going to occur at or near full knee extension. Okay? So for a positive test, we should have, at 90 degrees of knee flexion, no anterior knee pain. So that manual pressure shouldn't provoke any pain when the knee is flexed. But when we go to full knee extension, you will get reproduction of their familiar anterior knee pain on either side of that patellar ligament. Okay? Again, that impingement occurs at full extension, but shouldn't be occurring at 90 degrees of knee flexion. If somebody has pain in both of these positions, it's more likely to be another source of anterior knee pathology, including a meniscus tear. And then you need to look at Steinman's test, both parts 1 and 2. And we'll be covering that in a separate video. If you choose to do the knee extension passive range of motion from 90 degrees of knee flexion, what you should see is no pain initially at 90 degrees of flexion, but as you maintain that manual pressure and move them into full knee extension, there should be a gradual pain increase, especially as you get closer to full knee extension. So once again, here's exerting that pressure on the fat pad from both sides at 90 degrees of knee flexion. And here's the same thing done at full knee extension. So hopefully you learned a little bit about Hoffa's fat pad and Hoffa's fat pad test. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for all your support. Be sure to check out my Instagram for cool science and not science stuff.